Canto 23. As the bird among the leafy branches that she loves, perched on the nest with her sweet brood all through the night, which keeps things veiled from us, who in her longing to look upon their eyes and beaks, and to find the food to nourish them, a task, though difficult, that gives her joy, now on an open bough, anticipates that time, and, in her ardent expectation of the sun, watches intently for the dawn to break. So was my lady, erect and vigilant, seeking out the region of the sky in which the sun reveals less haste. I, therefore, seeing her suspended, wistful, became as one who, filled with longing, finds satisfaction in his hope. But time was short between one moment and the next. I mean between my expectation and the sight of the sky turned more and more resplendent. And Beatrice said, "Behold the hosts of Christ in triumph, and all the fruit gathered from the wheeling of these spheres." It seemed to me her face was all aflame, her eyes so full of gladness that I must leave that moment undescribed. As on clear nights when the moon is full, Trivia smiles among the eternal nymphs that deck the sky through all its depths. I saw above the many thousand lamps a sun that kindled each and every one, as ours light up the sights we see above us. And through that living light poured down a shining substance. It blazed so bright into my eyes that I could not sustain it. "O Beatrice, my sweet beloved guide," to me she said, "what overwhelms you is a force against which there is no defense. Here is the wisdom and the power that repaired the roads connecting heaven and the earth, that had so long been yearned for and desired. As fire breaks from a cloud, swelling till it finds no room there, and against its nature falls to earth, just so my mind, grown greater at that feast, burst forth, transported from itself, and now cannot recall what it became. Open your eyes and see me as I am. The things that you have witnessed have given you the strength to bear my smile. I was like a man who finds himself awakened from a vision that is faded, and who strives in vain to bring it back to mind, when I heard this invitation, deserving of such gratitude as can never be erased from the book that registers the past. If at this moment all the tongues that Polyhymna and her sisters nurtured with their sweetest, richest milk should sound to aid me now, their song could not attain 1,000th of the truth in singing of that holy smile and how it made her holy visage radiant. And so, in representing paradise, the sacred poem must make its leap across, as does a man who finds his path cut off. But considering the heavy theme and the mortal shoulder it weighs down, no one would cast blame if it trembled with its load. This is no easy voyage for a little bark, this stretch of sea the daring prow now cleaves, nor for a pilot who would spare himself. Why does my face arouse you so to love, that you do not turn to see the lovely garden now blossoming beneath the rays of Christ? There is the rose in which the word of God was turned to flesh. There are the lilies, for whose fragrance the right way was chosen. Beatrice said these words, and I, all eager to follow her instruction, again resumed the struggle, despite my feeble power of sight. As, lit by the sun's rays streaming through broken clouds, my eye, sheltered by the shade, once saw a field of flowers, so now I saw a many-splendored throng illuminated from above by blazing rays, but could not see the source of all that brightness. O gracious power, who did thus imprint them, you rose to more exalted heights to grant their sight to eyes not ready to behold you. The name of the fair flower I invoke each morning and at evening time enthralled my mind as I gazed at the brightest of the flames, when the quality and magnitude of the living star, who surpasses up above as she surpassed below, were painted on my eyes. There descended through the sky a torch that, circling, took on the likeness of a crown. It encircled her and wheeled around her. The sweetest melody, heard here below, that most attracts our souls would seem a burst of cloud-torn thunder, compared with the reverberation of that lyre with which the lovely sapphire that so in sapphires the brightest heaven was encrowned. I am angelic love, and I encircle the exalted joy breathed from the womb that was the dwelling place of our desire. And I shall circle you, Lady of Heaven, until you follow your Son to the highest sphere, making it the more divine because you enter. Thus that circling music, sealing itself, came to its conclusion, while all the other lights made Mary's name resound. The royal mantle of the universal turning spheres, which most burns and is most quickened in the breath of God and in his works, was at its inner boundary so very far above us that as yet, from where I was, it was well beyond my seeing, so that my eyes had not the power to fasten on the crown-tipped flame that rose along the path left by her sowing. And, like a baby reaching out its arms to mamma after it has drunk her milk, its inner impulse kindled into outward flame. All these white splendors were reaching upward with their fiery tips, so that their deep affection for Mary was made clear to me. Then they remained there in my sight, singing Regina Coeli with such sweetness that my feeling of delight has never left me. Oh, how great is the abundance that is stored in granaries so rich above, that down on earth were fields ripe for the sowing. There they live, rejoicing in the treasure they gained with tears of exile in Babylon, where they spurned the gold. Beneath the exalted Son of God and Mary, up there he triumphs in his victory, with souls of the covenants old and new, the one who holds the keys to such great glory.